Let's start with what the Dark Night actually is, and isn't. The map versus the myth, what Dark Night really refers to. The phrase Dark Night of the Soul comes from mystical traditions, but modern usage spans far beyond religion. People use it to describe a sudden, disorienting collapse of meaning, identity, and motivation. That framing helps because it validates the depth of the experience. But the myth suggests it's a mysterious punishment or a spiritual test without rules. The map says it's an identity system under load. When the load exceeds your current capacity, your sense of self destabilizes. That's predictable and workable. Here's the core pattern. Your brain builds a model of who you are, what matters, and how the world works. Under chronic stress, major loss, overactivation from certain practices, or a meaning shock, something that makes your old model feel false, the model can't update fast enough. The system prioritizes threat detection and energy conservation. You feel flattened, foggy, numb, alienated from yourself, and unsure what's real. That's not random. That's a stressed nervous system protecting resources while it looks for a safer configuration. Let's hit common triggers so you can spot the setup instead of blaming yourself. Loss of a person, identity, status, health removes anchors your brain used to predict the future. Chronic stress compresses recovery windows until your baseline is anxiety and exhaustion. Overactivation happens when you push high-intensity meditation, breath work, or psychedelic work without integration or rest. Your arousal system gets stuck on high. Meaning shocks include betrayals, moral injuries, or simply realizing your life story no longer fits. Any one of these can destabilize you. Stacking them accelerates collapse. Symptoms cluster in a familiar way. Anhedonia. You stop feeling pleasure because your system is downregulating reward to conserve energy. Depersonalization and derealization. You feel unreal, or the world looks flat and distant, because attention shifts from social and sensory richness to internal threat scanning. Moral disorientation. You can't trust your evaluations because the old frame is dissolving and the new one isn't ready. Fatigue. Your body diverts power from exploration to survival. None of this means you're broken. It means your system is trying to keep you safe with the tools it has. Why does the spiritual frame help? It normalizes depth. It says, this is big, and you're not alone. It invites humility and patience. But here's where it can mislead, when it hides medical red flags or bypasses biology. If you have signs of severe depression, escalating suicidal thoughts, psychosis, or extreme insomnia, that's clinical territory. Get evaluated. Spiritual language shouldn't prevent you from using sleep hygiene, nutrition, medication when appropriate, or evidence-based therapy. It also shouldn't shame you for using basic stabilizers like carbs, sunlight, and routine while you recover. Now, here's the thing most people miss. The symptoms aren't the enemy. They're signals. Fight every sensation, and you increase arousal. You chase certainty, and you burn energy you need for repair. Most folks stall because they treat the collapse like a puzzle to solve immediately, instead of a system to stabilize first. Insight is useful later. Early on, it's usually gasoline on a nervous system fire. This clicked for me when I noticed the same arc across very different people. Meditators, executives, new parents, caregivers, artists. Different stories, same pattern. Identity under load, system downshifts, meaning dissolves, panic rises, and then a frantic search for a master explanation begins. Therefore, we don't need perfect metaphysics to help you. We need a clear sequence that matches your biology. So what is it not? It's not a sign you failed at healing. It's not proof your practices were wrong. It's not a permanent exile from joy. It's a transition where your nervous system says, we can't carry this the old way. When you accept that, the path opens. When you argue with it, you loop. Here's the shortcut nobody teaches. Zoom out and label the stage. If you're in acute collapse, the job is safety, not revelation. If you're out of the red, the job is gentle reorganization, not a total life overhaul. If you're stable, the job is building capacity and stress tolerance, not chasing peak states. When you slot the right job to the right stage, momentum returns. If you remember nothing else from this section, remember this mental model. It's a map of load and capacity. Triggers raise load. Stabilizers raise capacity. Meaning making bridges the gap after you've stabilized. That's why treating symptoms as enemies backfires. They're feedback on load. Reduce load, add capacity, then edit meaning. Before we move on, a quick distinction. spiritual emergencies and psychological collapses often overlap. Some experiences feel transpersonal or unusual. That's fine. The stabilizers don't require you to decide which frame is true. They work either way. What matters is matching your tools to your current state. And there's one mistake that prolongs this more than anything: obsessive why hunting. We'll get to that, but first, let's set the stage with a simple, 3-phase map and start with stabilization. Why your current coping fails and makes it worse. Now here's where most people mess up. They try to outthink a nervous system problem. The first failing pattern is the suppression loop. You feel a wave, numbness, dizziness, a spike of dread, and you tense, brace, and try to push it down. Your body reads that bracing as more threat. Arousal climbs, breath gets shallow, heart rate bumps, and the next wave hits harder. The more you suppress, the more your system learns. These sensations are dangerous, so it flags them faster. You end up chasing calm and getting the opposite. The thing most people miss is that sensations extinguish when they're allowed to complete, not when they're fought. Fighting locks them in. Allowing, in a structured, safe way, lets them dissipate. We'll do the how in the stabilization phase, but for now, spot the loop: brace, spike, panic, repeat. If that's you, your fix isn't better analysis. It's downshifting arousal, so your body stops ringing the alarm. The second failing pattern is frantic meaning-making. When your old map dissolves, your brain hunts for certainty like oxygen. You scroll, journal for hours, ask everyone for takes, binge theories, and wake up more confused. Here's why. Questions without safety widen uncertainty, and uncertainty burns energy. Compulsive, why hunting actually fatigues the system that needs rest to rebuild. You also get trapped in cognitive bias, confirmation loops that feed fear. The result? You're more exhausted and no closer to a workable plan. This clicked for me when I saw clients doing 12-hour research binges and then calling themselves lazy for not implementing anything. They weren't lazy, they were cooked. The better method is to cap meaning-making until you've raised your energy floor. Think, what now, in the next 48 hours? Not, why is the universe doing this? The third failing pattern is over-spiritualizing. You tell yourself it's all karma or initiation, so you bypass biology, sleep, food, hydration, medications, basic medical checks. Or you try to meditate your way out of hypoglycemia and insomnia. The reason this backfires is simple. A starving, sleep-deprived brain can't regulate or learn. Treat the body like a foundation, not an afterthought. Using carbs, sunlight, and routines isn't less spiritual. It's giving your nervous system what it needs to process anything deeper. Right next to that is isolation. Shame and secrecy make you hide. You stop texting back, cancel plans, and don't want to burden anyone. But isolation removes two critical stabilizers: co-regulation and corrective feedback. Co-regulation is when another nervous system helps downshift yours. Steady voice, paced breathing, simple presence. Corrective feedback is when someone reality checks your catastrophic stories. Without those, spikes last longer and distortions look true. Then there's overtraining, marathon meditation sits, daily intense breath work, or stacking psychedelic sessions without recovery. Powerful tools at the wrong dose turn into stressors. You can trigger hyperventilation, dissociation, or destabilizing insight that your system can't integrate. The pro move is switching to grounding forms and honoring recovery windows. More intensity isn't more progress. It's often more load. Another subtle trap is decision flailing. In panic, you try to rescue yourself with big moves. Quit the job, end the relationship, sell the house, move cities. Your brain wants a clean break because uncertainty hurts. But crisis state decisions are usually threat-biased. They shrink future options. You trade short-term relief for long-term problems. That's why we use a decision moratorium in the acute phase. No conclusions in crisis. It preserves optionality until your signal-to-noise improves. Let me show you exactly how these patterns stack. You feel numb, you panic, you suppress, your arousal rises. You search for meaning for 6 hours, your uncertainty spikes, you're exhausted. You skip meals, over-caffeinate, and then try 2 hours of intense breath work. To break through, you dissociate, feel weirder, and now you're too ashamed to tell anyone. By night, you're spiraling and planning drastic life changes. That's a predictable cascade. And the fix is not heroic, it's staged. If you remember nothing else here, remember this. Your current coping fails because it mismatches the job. You're applying insight tools to a physiology problem, spiritual stories to a sleep problem, intensity to a load problem, isolation to a co-regulation problem, and big decisions to a signal problem. Once you flip those matches, stabilizers first, then meaning, then moves, things start working again. Before we continue, you need to understand the better structure: collapse, reorganization, integration. It's the game changer nobody talks about because it's not flashy, but it gives you a clean checklist for what to do next and what to ignore, for now. Once you nail that, everything else clicks. The three-phase model: collapse, reorganization, integration. Think of this like seasons in your nervous system. Not good or bad, just different jobs. Collapse is winter. Conserve, protect, simplify. Reorganization is spring. Careful planting, small shoots, test the weather. Integration is summer into fall. Growth, harvest, and building resilience for the next cycle. When you know the season, you stop fighting the weather and start using it. Phase 1, collapse. The what is system overload and identity disintegration. Threat signals dominate, energy drops, and your sense of self feels unstable. The why is survival. Your system is prioritizing keeping you alive over feeling great. The how to work with it is to downshift arousal and reduce harm. That means basics first: sleep window, steady meals, hydration, sunlight, gentle movement, and zero stimulants if you're spiking. It also means cognitive guardrails. No conclusions in crisis, postpone big decisions, and limit meaning hunting. Socially, you lean on 1 or 2 safe people for short, frequent contact. Markers you're still in collapse: high volatility, insomnia, panic surges, derealization that spikes with stress, and decisions that feel urgent and absolute. Your job is safety, not insight. Phase 2, reorganization. The what is values audit and skills rebuilding with small experiments. The why is to start generating workable meaning from a steadier body. The how is behavior first, micro commitments that restore agency fast. You keep stabilizers, then add 1 or 2 values-based actions daily. Use diffusion language. I'm noticing the thought that, to create space from catastrophic stories. Build uncertainty budgets. Decide how much ambiguity you'll tolerate today and where you'll buy clarity. Socially, you assemble a 3-tier support: a peer who gets it, a mentor or therapist, and a simple community space. Markers you're in reorganization. Routines hold most days, reactivity is lower, you can do short planned discomforts without crashing, and your curiosity returns in flickers. Your job is gentle meaning repair and skill stacking. Phase 3, integration. The what is new identity coherence with higher stress tolerance. You can carry more load without tipping. The why is to future-proof progress and anchor purpose in action. The how is stress inoculation, planned, graded exposures with recovery windows, plus values to calendar mapping. You don't chase peak states. You build capacity to handle ordinary stress and occasional intensity. Service stabilizes meaning here. Channel your lessons into helpful work, even small. Markers you're in integration. Flexibility under pressure, reduced baseline vigilance, sustained joy that isn't fragile, and a reliable relapse plan. Your job is consolidation, not reinvention. Now here's where most people mess up. They blur the jobs. In collapse, they chase cosmic clarity and blow fuses. In reorganization, they demand perfect purpose statements and stall. In integration, they get complacent and skip recovery, so old patterns creep back. Use the seasons rule. Winter, keep warm. Spring, plant small. Summer, grow and rest. Fall, harvest and store. How do you know you're moving phases versus looping back? Movement looks like shorter spikes, quicker returns to baseline, and fewer all-or-nothing thoughts. You see, and more than all. Your sleep stabilizes enough to learn again. Looping looks like repeated crises from the same triggers, routines that vanish at the first stressor, and compulsive why hunting that resets uncertainty every day. If you're looping, it's not a moral failure. It means the dose is wrong, too much intensity, not enough recovery, or the job is mismatched to the phase. Personalizing timelines is key. Some people spend 2 weeks in collapse, others 2 months. What matters is capacity trends, not calendar pride. If you're forcing progress, adding 5 practices at once, making life overhaul decisions, or pushing for insight when your energy floor is low, you'll bounce. Instead, use the 70% rule. If a routine holds 70% of days for 2 weeks under normal stress, add the next small layer. If it collapses under minor stress, you're still in late collapse or early reorganization. Stabilize more. Let me give you a quick mental model to keep handy. Load, capacity, coherence. Collapse is high load, low capacity, low coherence. So we cut load and build capacity. Reorganization is moderate load, rising capacity, low to medium coherence. So we test and refine meaning while keeping stabilizers. Integration is variable load, high capacity, rising coherence. So we train flexibility and lock in supports. Once you nail this map, everything else clicks. We'll start where it counts. Stabilizing collapse so your body can learn again. Safety before insight. Phase 1. Stabilize the system, acute care protocol. Safety before insight. In collapse, your job is to bring arousal down, reduce harm, and restore the basics so your brain can learn again. Think triage, not therapy. We'll keep it simple, concrete, and doable when your energy is low. Priority 1. Downshift arousal and restore basics, sleep, food, hydration, light movement, and routine. When these come online, symptoms soften because your system stops reading life as non-stop threat. The mistake is trying to figure it out while your body is still in alarm. We'll earn clarity by stabilizing first. Here's your 24 to 72 hour triage. Start with hydration. Steady sips of water or an electrolyte mix every hour you're awake. Next, slow carbs plus protein at regular intervals. Oats with nut butter, rice and eggs, potatoes and beans. Slow carbs keep blood sugar even. Protein supports neurotransmitter production. Add sunlight early in the day, 5 to 15 minutes outside, no sunglasses if possible, and a 20-minute easy walk. No stimulants during spikes. Skip caffeine, pre-workouts, and nicotine on acute days. Cap screens at night. The goal is predictable inputs that tell your nervous system we're safe enough to downshift. Use sensation-first tools to interrupt spirals. Paced breathing. Inhale through the nose for 4, exhale for 6 to 8, for 2 to 5 minutes. The longer exhale nudges your vagal brake. Orienting. Gently turn your head and let your eyes land on 5 to 10 objects in the room, describing simple details, color, shape, distance. Grounding. The 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 scan. 5 things you see, 4 you feel, 3 you hear, 2 you smell, 1 you taste. Cold to warm contrast. Splash cool water on your face or hold a chilled pack for 30 seconds, then wrap in a warm blanket or drink warm tea. The contrast shifts attention from threat loops to present moment sensation. Cognitive guardrails matter. Adopt the no conclusions in crisis rule for at least a week. You can take notes but don't decide big things. Create deferred decisions. I'll revisit this in 14 days. Write it down so your brain stops pushing for immediate answers. Keep meaning making on a timer, 10 minutes, once or twice a day. Max outside that window, come back to now. Feed the body, move the body, call a safe person, do a grounding rep. Speaking of people, use social co-regulation. Pick one safe person and set up short, frequent contact. A 5-minute check-in morning and evening. You can use a simple script. I'm in a tough patch. I don't need fixes right now, just a calm voice and a reminder to eat, drink, and rest. If you can't find a person, use recorded calm voices. Brief meditations designed for grounding, not insight or body scan audios. The aim is steady rhythm, not deep processing. Build a simple routine. Morning. Hydrate, sunlight, protein plus carbs, 1 grounding rep, light movement. Midday. Meal, 5-minute orientation, walk or stretch, 1 social touchpoint. Evening. Earlier dinner, digital sunset. Screens down 60 minutes before bed. Warm shower, dim lights, and a wind-down cue like low music or a paperback. Bedtime is a window, not a deadline. Keep it consistent within 30 to 45 minutes. If you can't sleep, don't catastrophize. Get up, low light, do a boring, tactile task, then try again. Protect the sleep window. It's your best lever. Now, clinical thresholds. These are not negotiable. If suicidal thoughts are escalating, if you have a specific plan or intent, if sleep is 0 for 48 hours despite best efforts, if you're seeing or hearing things others don't and it's distressing, if derealization is severe and constant with marked functional collapse, or if substances are involved, seek a medical or psychiatric evaluation. Crisis does not disqualify you from healing. It tells us to widen the support. You can still hold your spiritual frame while using clinical care. What about movement? Keep it light. Think circulation, not PRs. Walks, gentle yoga, mobility drills. Overexertion spikes cortisol and can worsen symptoms. If you're spiking, drop intensity, increase frequency. 2 to 3 short bouts instead of one long session. If you're bedbound, try isometrics and breathing in a seated position. Let's talk common mistakes. Number 1. Chasing peak states. In collapse, peak states are expensive and unstable. You might feel better for an hour, then crash harder. Choose boring and repeatable over dramatic. Number 2. Overbreathing during panic. Fast breathing can fuel dizziness and tingling. Slow the exhale, keep breaths low and quiet. Number 3. Dumping life stories on friends seeking clarity. In acute states, this spirals both of you. Use the script, keep it brief, and set a time limit. A quick micro-win you can try today. Set a 24-hour stabilization contract. 3 meals with slow carbs and protein, 1.5 liters of fluids minimum. 11 minutes total of slow exhale breathing split into short sets, 15 minutes outside, and 2 5-minute check-ins. Write it on a sticky note. Cross off each item. That visible completion tells your system, we can make moves. Finally, create a safe container for your mind. Write a parking lot list where intrusive worries go. Title it Not Today. Every time a big decision thought pops up, log it and return to the body. You're not ignoring problems, you're timing them. Timing is everything in collapse. Once your spikes are shorter, sleep is improving, and routines hold on most days, you're exiting the red.